No interruptions in the last 30 minutes or the last 1 hour, no big moves up or down, the market starting flat and ending flat. I mean, a pretty tepid, sober kind of session through the course of the day, at least on the Nifty, with just a 10-15 odd point change. Banks were a little worse off, the Bank Nifty ending down by about 0.25%. What was higher today and did better was mid-caps, broader markets, and I'll come to a long list of stocks which did very well, but both those indices were up almost 1% by close. In terms of sectors, two areas, real estate as a pack and autos as a pack kind of stood out. Large cap names which did better, HDFC Life, Tata Motors, Hero MotoCorp, Coal India and Reliance. I mean, actually there was only 1% loser, Nestle, which was down, but that's about it. In the broader space, I mean, a lot of action on volumes, mind you. So PNB was higher, BHEL was up. There was Paytm and Policy Bazaar, which have done very well. Continuing with financials, Indiabulls Housing did well. RBL Bank was higher. RVNL, a rail infrastructure stock that did well. GSPL, PFC and REC. Tata Motors DVR was up about 9%. UTI AMC, I mean, a forgotten name. We don't talk about that much. Religare, RateGain, Kajaria, I could go on. But, that should give you a sense that the real activity in the market was not in the Nifty or the Bank Nifty. It was in the broader space. I mean, we are still about 100 points short of a new high on the Nifty, and I think we'll have to wait for it when we come back next week.
Right, Prashant, thanks a lot for that. Now, the government-appointed Committee on Gas Pricing Formulation, headed by Kirit Parikh, is likely to submit its report by the end of November. Parikshit Luthra now joins us. Parikshit, tell us, what are your sources telling you on the latest on that report?
Well, yes, there was speculation that this report will come out this week, but we have got to know from highly placed sources that this exercise could take a few more days, and possibly by the end of November, this report will be submitted to the government. Again, there has been speculation that the panel is going to recommend a revised price for natural gas. That's unlikely to happen. Sources say a formula would be arrived at and it could be a differential formula for the consumers of piped natural gas and a different formula for the industry as well. So what we've got to know from our sources is that they will try and balance the needs of the industry with that of the consumers. There are certain social needs of consumers of the agriculture sector that the committee will have to address, and probably there could be a price formula to address that audience as well. So let's wait and see what happens, but in all likelihood, this report will be submitted to the government by the end of this month.
Well, the state finance ministers meet union finance ministers Nirmala Sitharaman to give their inputs ahead of the union budget. Ministers of State Bhagwat Karad and Pankaj Chaudhary and top North Block officials attended the meeting.
The prime concern in different states was to improve their facilities, to improve their income, and to improve the state's overall condition. In different sectors, they have asked different budgets, they have suggested, and of course, Government of India, under the leadership of Finance Minister Madam Bataya, she told that every sector will be considered and the budget will be good.
What were the prime areas when it comes to sectors, logistics, infrastructure? Kya tha?
I told you, no. You take logistics, you take agriculture sector, you take education sector, you take medical education, health sector, even industries, railways, airport, hilly areas, ropeways, every sector. It was discussed, and it was a very good discussion. And the budget will be very good.
States की income को लेके क्या बोला गया?
Income तो बढ़ाना, उनको बढ़ाना है और हमें भी बढ़ाना है. हर एक ने अपना अपना बताया है income कैसा बढ़ेगा, उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन अच्छा हो गया है.
कुछ चीज़ें मैंने रखी, विशेष रूप से मैंने भारत सरकार का इसलिए अभिनंदन भी किया है कि उन्होंने 1 लाख करोड़ की कैपिटल ग्रांट की स्कीम निकाली है, जिसमें 50 इयर्स का इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन वो दे रहे हैं, और महाराष्ट्र को इसमें सबसे बड़ा फ़ायदा हुआ है. करीब 6,800 करोड़ महाराष्ट्र को मिले, और हमने 3,000 करोड़ रुपए और 2,900 करोड़ का एक और प्रस्ताव दिया है. मेरी अपेक्षा है कि वो भी हमको प्राप्त होगा.
Most of us have given detailed written statements, and I have faith that they will be properly, assessed and given due weight when considering. states, irrespective of whether they are of one political party or another, all states expressed a few common themes. One is that states' autonomy, fiscal autonomy, is being greatly constrained.
State-specific Andhra, we have most of them the spillovers of the Andhra Pradesh reorganization, Polavaram project, and then the backward area development, certain rail and road projects linking Andhra Pradesh to Hyderabad.
केंद्र प्रायोजित योजनाओं में जो केंद्र सरकार राशि लगाती है, राज्यों को भी अपना हिस्सा देना पड़ता है और इस हिसाब से राज्य के जो अपने संसाधन के भी पैसे हैं वो केंद्र की योजनाओं के हिसाब से चलना पड़ता है, उस राशि का खर्च करना पड़ता है। केंद्र राज्यों को मदद करना चाहती है तो सीधे केंद्रीय योजना रखे, जो सेंट्रल स्कीम्स कहते हैं, उसमें 100% राशि केंद्र सरकार देती है।
चाहे आयरन ओर हो चाहे कोयला हो, उसमें अलग अलग ग्रेड के होते हैं, तो उसके हिसाब से उसका रॉयल्टी फिक्स होना चाहिए। नीति आयोग में भी मैंने बात की थी और यहाँ भी मैंने वो बात कही है। अभी जो जीएसटी कंपनसेशन के लिए ये 400 रुपये प्रति टन के हिसाब से उपकर लेते हैं कोयला में, तो हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ से करीब 6,500 करोड़ रुपये वसूली हर साल होती है। तो जितना जीएसटी कंपनसेशन के बाद जो पैसा बचता है वो हमको राज्य को लौटाया जाना चाहिए, ये मैंने मांग की है।
We have asked that the overall budget for Northeast should be increased in terms of the ministry for donor ministry, the schemes that are specific to the Northeast, like Nesset schemes, the PM Divine. So some enhancement can be done there. That helps us a lot. And number two, we have also asked for the capital special capital assistance to be increased.
Well, board of Adani Enterprises has approved a fundraise of up to 20,000 crore rupees via further public offering through a fresh equity of shares. Company will seek shareholder approval via postal ballots. From the aviation space now, Tata Group and Singapore Airlines are in talks for potential merger of their joint venture Air Vistara with Air India. Now, if a merger is considered, it will bring 4 airline brands, that's Air India, Vistara, Air India Express, as well as Air Asia India under one Tata umbrella. CNBC-TV18's Madiha Mujawar tells us what the combined entity could look like. Madiha, what does this mean for India's aviation landscape?
India's aviation space is currently dominated by budget airline Indigo. So what kind of competition are we talking about here? In terms of market share, Indigo will continue to be the dominant player, going by the current numbers. In October, the combined market share of 4 Tata-owned brands stood at nearly 26%. Indigo, meanwhile, enjoyed a 57.7% market share. So even together, the market share will be half of Indigo's. Let's look at the size of the fleet. Air India Express, Air Asia India and Vistara together have 200 aircraft. Indigo, meanwhile, has 245 aircraft in the air and is learned to have ordered 700 more, which should be delivered over the next few years. Now, Air India has also been placing aircraft orders, but even if these are inducted, the combined fleet size will remain smaller. Indigo has also been carrying more passengers on its aircraft. From January to September this year, Air India Express, Air Asia India and Vistara together carried 3.4 crore passengers, while Indigo carried 5.3 crore passengers. That's a difference of nearly 2 crores. Let's move to domestic passenger load factor. This metric tells us how much of an airline's passenger carrying capacity is being utilized. Indigo has a PLF of 82.1% individually. Air India, Air Asia India and Vistara enjoy a higher PLF than Indigo, which averages out to 84.1%. Lastly, I checked the on-time performance of these airlines in the domestic market. On this parameter, Tata Group's airlines have taken the top 3 spots. This is also the first time Air India has topped the on-time performance ranking in many years with an OTP of 90.8%. Indigo has slipped to number 4 with 87.5%, behind Vistara and Air Asia India's 89.1%. Experts tell me that given how close the operational parameters could be, Indigo will definitely be in for some stiff competition from synergies a combination of the 4 Tata brands could generate. And air passengers are definitely in for some interesting times.
In other news, sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the drug's standard controller has granted emergency use approval to Bharat Biotech's COVID nasal booster dose. It can be administered to adults who have been vaccinated with either Covaxin or Covishield. Administration of the nasal booster dose will begin post-alignment with CoWIN app. Relief has been granted for Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor. The Delhi High Court has granted him bail in a money laundering case registered by the Enforcement Directorate. He was arrested in August of 2021. The former banker is currently lodged in Taloja jail in Navi Mumbai. The Delhi High Court has ruled that Amitabh Bachchan's name, Amitabh Bachchan's image or voice cannot be used without the actor's consent. The actor had filed a plea seeking protection against exploitation and misappropriation of personal attributes. There is a ray of hope for same-sex partners. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a plea that seeks striking down of provisions in the marriage law that bar same-sex marriage. The top court has asked the government to present its stance on same-sex marriage. The petitioner claimed being able to marry has implications for individual liberty, finance, succession rights, and adoption. Toyota's Innova Hi-Cross bookings opened as the model made its India debut. The Hi-Cross will be manufactured in Toyota's Bidari factory and is slated to reach dealerships by January of 2023. Parikshit Luthra gets us a sneak peek.
Toyota has launched the new Innova Hi-Cross here in India. This is the vehicle right behind me. It's more muscular looking and has a longer wheelbase than the Innova Krista. Also, the Innova Krista only came in petrol and diesel options. This comes with a self-charging hybrid electric engine. You've got 2 petrol variants and 3 hybrid variants with this vehicle. There is no diesel. You get a panoramic sunroof. On the inside, you have ventilated front seats. You've got a footrest in the second row as well. You've got a 10-inch infotainment system. And this car is high on safety. When you speak about safety features, you've got 6 airbags. You've got cruise control, lane assist, collision warning systems. The company says that this hybrid electric vehicle will give you a mileage of 21 kilometers per litre.
We had the first Innova, we had the Krista, and this thing is, I think, something which will exceed whatever people imagined with the Innova Krista. I think you're going to see spectacular performance in terms of fuel efficiency, emissions, and safety.
The price will be unveiled very soon. The bookings begin immediately, and this vehicle would go on sale from January 2023 onwards. The Innova Hi-Cross, along with the Innova Krista and the Fortuner, will continue to be manufactured at Toyota's Bidadi plant in Karnataka. With video journalist Sohail from Mumbai, this is Parikshit Luthra.
Well, with that, it's time now to slip into a very short break. But coming up on the other side, Tamil Nadu eyes a $1 trillion economy by FY29. We get you more on the state's roadmap and the blueprint going forward.